And we are back again. Starting to get some traction with this podcast. We appreciate all you listeners and followers. David, why don't you go ahead and introduce us, my friend?
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Uncommon Man podcast. I'm your host, David. This is the other host, Mike. So tonight was long overdue for Yap Session.
Absolutely.
Nothing in particular. Hey, we just going to let it flow. Let's jump into it.
All right, buddy. So what's been going on with you guys? I know that you've got yourselves a little situated in the household now. I'm guessing Cam's back at school.
Yeah, well, he's been in school the whole time.
Okay.
I elected for him to go back to school full time. The reason why I did that is because Cameron is the only child, so he has to have that interaction. He can't
Smart.
just sit at home. He doesn't have three brothers and sisters at home with him, so where he's getting interaction with other kids. So this is his interaction going to school. I mean, from what I can tell, there's a decent amount of kids that are going to school. And, I do know some who elected to do virtual at home and stuff like that. We've kind of had a whole situation with the teachers union for the Little Rock School District that basically said that, yeah, we're not doing in person. We're doing virtual only. And to those people, man, that's rough. For them to just to come out of, left field and like, hey, no, we're not doing it. We're strictly going to virtual only. Hey, where the fuck do you get off? I'm just being serious. Like, where the fuck do you get off saying that, hey, you're not going to school, you're doing virtual only and stuff like that? Yeah, y'all are really not thinking about the kids and y'all not thinking about the parents. Straight up.
Yeah, dude. That's a super tough situation for both the parents as well as the kids nowadays. See, Cam's what? He's later middle school, right?
Yeah, he's in eighth grade. He's in eighth grade this year.
So he's later middle school. He's getting into those years. Not only is this like his most crucial his cognizant establishment years, with just being able to interact with kids and figure out who he is and start developing. But at the same time, he's going to have to deal with all the other kids that are going through that same crisis. So he's in a real tough position. The number one bit of school I hated the most was middle school, dude. It was the worst for me. I feel for him because I'm an only child too. The difference is my parents aren't quite as easygoing as you are. Like they were very strict about that stuff, but that's also from both you and I having to deal with that generation of parents as well. So we've kind of met in the middle of, all right, well, I'm not exactly going to beat the crap out of my kids, but at the same time, well, I'm still going to abide and upkeep a little bit of a standard code. But there's a lot of parents nowadays who don't really follow those same standards and principles. And that makes it pretty tough for these teachers.
Yeah, so check this out, man. Let me give you kind of like a rundown. So last year when this whole thing started, right, and they sent the kids home, when they had kids logging into their virtual classes, let's say a class of 15 students, you would have 5 log in, right? So you have 5 kids log in. The rest of the kids are just doing what the fuck ever, because you gotta think about it. If their parents are at work and they're at home and they're solely responsible,
yeah.
I mean, come on, bro. I'm playing video games and eating junk food all day long. And Absolutely. Me and my wife, we are super tough on Cameron when it comes to, hey, dude, you got to get your work done. You got to get your work done. So you mean to tell me this kid over here that busts his butt to make sure he got an A is going to get the same grade as this kid that sat around all day playing video games and eat chips? No, that shit's not flying with me. I don't like that one bit. So if you're going to do that, it better be some accountability, straight up.
Right. And that's what we always loved about you guys. And that's why we've become such close friends over the years, is just because of your mentality. And we don't have kids. That's still a coin toss for us. My biggest deal, I don't want to have to raise a kid in today's generation, dude. I mean, it was miserable for us growing up, but we were at least allowed to fight kids. So if someone stepped too far out of line, yeah, you're laughing because you don't have Exactly. Yeah. You were allowed to do a little bit of fist talk every now and then. You can't do that anymore, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's an instantaneous way out of the class. Someone turns that into a lawsuit. It's like it's just so asinine because nobody's allowed to really defend themselves anymore. Everything has to go to litigation, which is ridiculous. And it just basically breeds a generation of dorks and nerds who just
Right.
exactly what you were talking about. 5 kids logged in, did what they were supposed to do, as opposed to the other 25 kids who at some point in time are going to end up being, they're going to end up having psychology degrees and bitching about the world, about the fact that they can't find
Yeah.
a job.
Dude, and I say this because I know firsthand, dude. I've sat there and I've watched, like I've sat down there and I've looked over his shoulder, look at his English class, and I'm like, I know damn well there's more than 5 kids in that English class. Where's the rest of them? Straight up. And back to what you were talking about, dude. Back when we were kids and I was in middle school, dude, if it was a disagreement, you had something off and you had something on your chest, like, hey, dude, we can take this out back right now.
Right.
Ain't gonna be no snitching, ain't gonna be no telling. We're not calling the cops. Ain't nobody, hey, if I break your nose, it ain't gonna be your mom's gonna sue my parents and stuff like that. It's just gonna be like, hey, you just got pieced up. That's just how it was. And I mean, like it made us gritty, man. Like looking now to how things are now, it's like, dude, thinking back to those days, man. Like even in sports, man. Dude, funny story. So 7th grade, man. So in Arkansas, 7th graders, we had to practice at like the butt crack of dawn every morning. Man, we had this little wimpy band geek kid that, I guess his dad was trying to live out some kind of fantasy and make his son play football. The kid had no business out there, and he was trying to tackle us, and the black kids was just running his ass over, just demolishing his ass, and so he started crying, and the coach lost his shit. He was like, "So you mean to tell me you crying?" He called me and 3 others, gave him the ball. He said, "All right, I want you to run the ball now." Thinking that was child abuse. What we did to that kid, just tearing him up. But hey, it made him tough. It made him tough at the end of the day, man. But it's just, dude, these kids now, man, and not even kids, people. I see grown ass adults that act like straight bitches. Like the whining and complaining that I hear from adults, I'm just like, gosh.
I'd say I'm glad you brought that point up, dude, because I thought that like my fighting days were over when I got out of high school. Like I thought that was it, man. I mean, I did pretty well going through high school. I got in a couple of them, but I got the shit whooped out of me on one of them. And then, we've got our dubs, we've got our L's.
Yeah.
But, dude, when I got in the military, man, there was a couple scraps I had to get into with guys that I worked with. Because they would get belligerent sometimes and just go out of control. We had this one dude. So my roommate that I lived with, military pays you guys pays us BH for, living off on your own. Anybody that can relate to that, you understand. If not, it's just a little bit of a subsidy we get. I mean, we didn't get paid very much. Obviously, why I'm not anymore. But we had this one guy that was still living in the dorms because he kept getting in trouble for doing dumb shit while he was drinking. And stupid me, man, I invited a bunch of people out to a party that I had got invited to by somebody else that was a civilian. And we get out there, dude. It's this loaded mansion, man, a whole bunch of people. Well, this dude was just out of control. Somehow he had jumped in one of the Jeeps or one of the cars and gone with us. And when we got to the place, he got so drunk, he actually face planted through a glass table. And they were like, hey, you guys got to go. So we got egress because of this dude. And then when we got out to the car, my best friend and my roommate was Asian. So there was a rack of beers on the car that my buddy had brought with us. And this dude was about a 6'3" string bean dude. Not my buddy. My roommate was about the same size as me, about 5'10", little stocky guy, but he used to be a semi-amateur boxer, You just never know. You never know it looking at him because he looks like a dork. He's in good shape, but he looks like a dork. And he's brilliant. The guy's he just graduated from Harvard, and I'm sorry, not Harvard. He's graduated from Yale. Obviously, you can tell one of us is brilliant. The other one's an idiot. He's graduated from Yale, and then now he's over in Britain somewhere. One of those fucking eyes wide shut schools, finishing up his psychology doctorate.
Oh my God.
So he got out, and he's at Cambridge. I'm sorry. So I don't do names because it's, I don't want to get him in trouble. Yeah, the guy's brilliant, but he's standing on one side of the car. I was already pissed at this dude for getting us kicked out, and he tells my buddy goes, "Hey man, you already screwed us." He was sober, so he tells this guy, "Hey, just get in the car, let's get out of here." And dude, he bows up on him. My buddy's like, "Yeah, just get in the car." And there was a 6-pack of bottled beers on the hood of the vehicle, and the guy took one of the bottles and goes, "Fuck you, you gook bitch." And dude, out of left field, man, I just ran over and suplexed this dude. Ended up snapping his arm in 2 different spots. Shattered it, dude. 2 different spots. Had no idea, dude. I just fucking jackhammered him into the ground and then waylaid him a couple times. So we get to work the next day, and they go, "Hey, did you hear about so-and-so? I guess he got roughed up in the dorms last night, blah, 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 blah." Dude, keep in mind, there was 12 of us that had rallied together to go to this party in the first place. So you figured someone was going to slip up and say something. This guy never threw me under the bus at all. So even though dude, right, yeah. So I don't know where you're at. I still don't like you, but kudos to you for never bombing on me for the fact that I jackhammered him. And he shows up to work a couple days later, and the rumor around the squadron was that he got beat up by 10 Army guys from the base that was next to us. Mm-hmm. And it was just kind of the inside joke between all of us before we all PCS to our different bases. It's like, "Oh yeah, you remember when so-and-so he got whooped by all those Army guys? LOL. So yeah, dude, it never ends, man. Especially with booze, it just turns you into an adult child anyways, so.
Of course. And hey, everybody, we're not condoning violence. We're just speaking on the nature of how people act like bitches. And we wish we can go back to the old days to where you can scrap, get it off your chest, and just move on to something else. But real quick, so for y'all who don't know, who haven't followed us for a while, me and Mike, we're both in school currently. So Mike, how's school going?
Rough, bro. It's rough. But it is what it is. It's one of those things where, if you want to succeed, you got to learn how to be successful. And me, I've got massive ADHD. It's super hard for me to stay on topic with anything. So, especially an engineering degree, it's a struggle, man. But I love what I do. So that has kept me motivated to continue persevering. Especially, I would say I'm doing pretty good. I'm an average A to B student, which is really wild considering how much of a bum I was in school. I would say I was an underachiever. I could have done a lot better than I did. But yeah, dude, no, I'm really impressed with how my life's going. I got a couple internships hopefully lined up right now. And we'll see how that ends up transpiring over the next couple months. Hopefully we got good news for that. But what about you, dude? How's everything going with your schooling?
Yeah, man. So everything's going good. I had some good encouraging words from my teachers and stuff like that. So my dumb ass jumped into a program, and I was just trying to find a class that would work with my schedule. Little did I know that I jumped into the advanced class. So no experience, anything. And y'all, this is completely different from anything I've ever done. I've never done anything like this. So I jumped headfirst right into the advanced class. So already I'm 10 feet underwater. Everybody else are in the boat taking off. So I got to swim, get above water, and take off too. So, we've been working on different techniques and different things like that. And I'm catching up. And my professor was like, "Hey, dude, it's coming together for you. You're catching on, it's coming together." So sat down with the advisor because now we can make our schedules for next semester. And so pretty much after I take my class, next semester, I'm 4 classes shy of being done. And dude, I am not saying like I'm just ready to get out. It's like I'm ready for what's to come. I'm ready for the opportunities that are going to open up once I complete this. And I'm so close to the finish line. I think this is one of the best decisions that I've made in a while as far as where my career path is going to take me after this, because boy, it's getting hard to fake it. It's getting hard to fake it. Every day is like I get a little more rude, I should say, with people.
You're talking about with your current position.
Worse.
You're talking about your current job.
My current job. I get a little more rude every day because I'm just like, dude, just stop talking.
Yeah, you're mentally checked out. Exactly. You're as you're climbing up one hill, you're sliding down the other. So because you're like, all right, I know that I'm going to crest at this at some point in time, and this one can definitely suck it. So
yeah, but I mean, all in all, I mean, I still do my job. I'm still do what I'm supposed to do, because at any point they can come in and be like, all right, you out of here. So I still do my job, and I still do what I'm supposed to do, for the most part. But other than that, man, hey, good things on the school front. Now, I'm not going to school for anything like Mike is what he's going for. He's going to school for engineering, so I can imagine that's a whole different hassle right there. I'm going for school something completely different. That's not as it's not as time consuming as what Mike is doing.
No, there's no excuses either way, dude. I mean, for me, this is great training for doing something that I've always been horrible at, and that is prioritizing. So I'm still getting down the scheduling process of this, and it's just, you know what it is, dude? It's a real crash course, just like you right now with the advanced placement. For me, this is advanced placement mentally when it comes to growing the fuck up. Like, because I've got no excuses. I'm not going into a degree where I can half-ass it like I've done my entire life. Dude, I can literally – so my senior project in high school, it was 13 pages. I did it in 2 hours. I wrote the whole thing out in 2 hours because I can bullshit a fucking assignment like it's nobody's business. Dude, every leadership course that I went through in the military, our entire class or our entire group that teamed up with me, I would get drunk, blitz drunk, dude. We would have a party or something like that. And then about 20 minutes afterwards, we would all sit down, throw some ideas out, and I would put together an assignment. We ended up getting the class award for basically the top group award for the class. But my biggest deal is when it comes to actually having to like put effort towards something, dude, I struggle with that to the nth degree because I lose focus on it. So for me, learn how to prioritize stuff, especially with the mathematical aspect, because I'm not very left brain or right brain. I'm very left brain. Left brain is for people who are right-handed, baseball players, people who are artsy. Actually not even artsy. I'm sorry. People who are very analytical are left-brained. People who are artsy and good at mathematics and stuff like that, generally right brain, which correlates to being left-handed. So yeah, it's a struggle for me, man, but it's one of these where it's like I'm competitive by nature, just the same as you are. I can't let this beat me, and I know that this is my future. I love doing this. I just got to keep focus on being able to do it.
Yeah. I mean, dude, man, you'll get there, man. You're like me, man. You understand what's at stake if you don't do it, right? If you don't make it. And that's part of what keeps me going is because I understand what's at stake if I don't do it. And if I don't make it through this, and I don't like the outcome if I don't complete it. So I'm going to complete it. I don't do through hell or high water. I don't care. I don't care if I lose sleep. I don't care if I, whatever is going to get done.
Right. Yeah. My biggest deal, man, and anybody that's watching us right now, the number one thing that I can impress upon is opportunity. The world revolves around the word opportunity, and every door that opens, you got to jump in, dude. You can't sit there and put a tepid foot through. You got to jump right the hell through, man. It doesn't matter if it's if you get 4 job interviews in a row, every single one of those interviews you need to show up prepared for, and you need to make sure that at the end of the interview, you are asking them when you want them to start. Whether or not you plan on taking the job is irrelevant. You need to make sure that they know that you are the best candidate that they have seen for this position, and there's no questions asked. And right now, everybody going through school, that's the toughest part, because especially in today's day and age, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So if you're trying to get your name out into a different business or something that you have no relation to, it's a struggle, man. I mean, nepotism, it's a pretty strong ordeal. But if you get the opportunity, man, you can't squander it. You got to make sure that you are on the money, you're on the ball, and every single time that someone asks you a question, you're Johnny on the spot with an answer. And it's cliche, but the best answer you can ever give somebody is, I don't know that one, but I can assure you I'll figure it out. So I'm not going to lie to you about it.
Absolutely. Because a lot of things at work is problem solving. And somebody who can't problem solve, I mean, dude, I see it all day. Like, I interview people and I hire people and stuff like that. And fucking, people who can't figure their way out through like problems and different problem solving and stuff like that that's terrible. Just like I was telling somebody the other day, jobs are like relationships. You go through one, you go through another until you find the right one. Just like with anything else, it's just like a relationship. You keep going through it and going through it and going through it until you figure out, hey, what I like, what I don't like, what I want to do, what I don't want to do, until you find the right one. And so just don't look at it as, well, I don't want to seem like I'm unstable. It's like, I just haven't found the right one. I mean, it's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you're just gonna be miserable at a job. No, find something else. Find another career. Find another career field. Retrain yourself as something else.
Yeah, and I mean, use it. Your life is like the stock market, man. Everything in general is a gamble. Everything is a roll of the dice, man. I don't know if I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. That's a coin flip, dude. Every single day, it's a damn coin flip. So these might be my last words spoken. I don't know, but what I do know is the amount of time and the breath that I still have. I'm going to relish it, dude. And I'm going to focus. I'm going to make my focal point on stuff that I enjoy doing. And that's the other thing about it. Like, if you enjoy video games, I mean, neither one of us really understand that or agree with it. But if that's what you like to do, go ahead and do that. But don't let that be also the world that consumes you. There has to be you have to have a fine line between an alternate reality and something that you're obsessed with, and also a happy balance where you can get away from that. Because the people who are successful most of the time are super miserable. And I mean, I know I'm saying that from a position of poverty in certain retrospect, but at the same time, I'm pretty blessed with what I got, man. I mean, there's a lot of people I know a lot of people that have a lot of money and they're in good positions, like jobs and stuff, but they're so focused on that job that their relationships are garbage. And I know people who are poor as shit and they have nothing and their relationships are okay, but at the same time, they can't go do anything. They basically just sit around. The kids have no opportunities. So both of us are coming from a pretty average standpoint. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty content with where I'm at. I just like to have a little bit more money and then just coast.
Success is subjective.
Perfect.
Everybody views success differently. Some people view it as, okay, how much money you have, how much stuff you have, or where do you live, or what neighborhood do you live, where you go eat and where you go shop and all this other bullshit. Success is very subjective. Okay. Again, y'all heard us talking Yap multiple times. Hey, there's really, to be honest with y'all, there's a few more things, and I say a few more things that I can buy. After that, I'm good.
Right.
Dude, I'm super good. Hey, I got one of the cars I own now is something I've always wanted since I was in fucking junior high school. Got it. Hey, I got a nice looking house at a very good price. Got it. Okay. There's only just a handful of other things that I want to get. After that, dude, hey, I'm good, man. I'm good. But again, I'd rather be, but again, it's going to take me going out there, making moves, making things happen. So when I do get those things, I can be happy and I can enjoy it.
Dude, I couldn't have put it better myself, man. The greatest way to think about life is your success is at the end of the day if you look at what you have and you are content, but you still desire more, like you enjoy and you appreciate everything that you have, but you still don't want to stop climbing the ladder.
Yeah. It's what you
People,
can live with. It's what you can live with too. Like don't let somebody else determine your success. Because at the end of the day, you got to be content with it too. You know, you
correct.
got to go to bed with that one, not me. So don't let me tell you you ain't successful. If you think you working at Walmart is good enough for you, and that's all you need in life, hey bro, do your thing.
And if you guys have followed,
Not for me.
if you guys have followed any of our Yap sessions, especially when it comes to a fiscal responsibility, like keeping up with the Joneses is not a great thing. Like there is no reason. I have never been more happy with my life and my success than I am right now looking at my credit score because we really don't know on shit. So everything that we own right now is worth money. So my credit score has been skyrocketing. The stuff that we have works perfectly fine, does everything we want it to. We can take the boat out, we can wakeboard on it, we can tube on it, we can fish off the bitch. My pickup truck right now, that's the first vehicle I bought on my own. Nobody else. I paid for that off of deployment money, came back, gave USAA the whole check, said, here you go, suck it, send me my title. I've owned that truck since 2008, had the title since 2008 on it. It's in shambles right now on my parents' driveway. I actually have the engine out of it. We're in the process of rebuilding it. It's going to be about 1,000 foot-pounds of torque, whole bunch of modifications coming through. If you follow my other YouTube channel that I have specifically working on it, Poor Boy Mechanics, you guys will get updates there. But that's what I do in my spare time to keep myself busy. So what you do to keep yourself preoccupied, keep yourself, your mental acuity, you keep it at least strengthened. Reading's another thing that I think as a society we have really nullified. And that is due to that big screen thingy that sits on top of the pedestal over there and tells us when the football games are on or when the next soap opera is or exactly which skeezy bitch is going to end up marrying some random dude that she met and fucked a few times on one of those ABC shows,
Who took somebody to the back room and the other motherfuckers out
Right.
there crying shit.
Yeah, she got
Hey,
30.
you knew what you signed up for.
Yeah, she got 30 guys and she's handing them a rose like it's some sort of jaded Beauty and the Beast scene. The fuck out of here. But dude, people get enthralled in that, man. Like that is their life. They're so infatuated. They're like, oh,
Bro.
but next episode, it's gonna be next week, and they're just sitting there waiting for it, and just fiending for it. It's like, dude, get the fuck out. Go do something. Go take. It should be decent where you're at, unless you're in Seattle or Portland. In which case, get out and go for a walk.
Dig it down. But hey, man, so
I was just talking about the weather.
Hey, so let's talk about that though, man, because I mean, for two guys
boy.
like us, what do we watch on television? Like, what do we watch as far as like TV? So, for instance, like Street Outlaws, Memphis. Dude, I absolutely love that show. I cannot get enough of it. And also, I started watching a show recently called I Quit. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's basically like a bunch of people who worked 9 to 5 and started businesses and quit their job. to see basically who would make it. And I thought that was extremely interesting. Like for a lot of them, I was rooting for him. I was like, dude, I hope you fucking make it.
What is that, like ABC or something?
Nah, it's Discovery. I watch a lot of shit on Discovery.
Dude,
I can't
Discovery.
help it.
So I'm in the same boat as you. If I do turn on a TV show, so I don't have regular cable television. We have one of those little antennas that you put up in the window, so that way I can occasionally catch a football game on Sundays.
You cheap bastard. You cheap bastard.
It's $40 and that's HDMI when I want to watch it.
For sure.
So, but yeah, no, as for Street Outlaws, I used to watch the original show. I didn't like the first couple seasons. They actually were legit like race cars and they were doing it on the street. You could tell. And then all of a sudden it became a stage set. They were doing it in a place that wasn't there or wasn't where they were claiming it was. So as soon as there started becoming a farcity to it, it became harder and harder to watch. And then the Street Outlaws Memphis, I can't really get into it, dude. I like the guy who's the main narrator there. The main race was it JJ the Boss, right? Is that his?
Yeah.
So I really like that guy. He's hilarious, just a real off the cuff, funny dude. You can tell. I mean, I've heard him I've listened to him in podcasts before. He's actually a really brilliant dude. But I can't get in the show anymore, man. But when I do sit down and watch television, I'll generally watch some goofy, mind-numbing, like adult comedy show like Rick and Morty, or I'll watch like Venture Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
But if I put something on the background, it's either going to be that or it's going to be Motor Trend, something on Motor Trend. You know, listening to what their ideas and thoughts are on how they. Okay, this car broke down. What ended up happening? Let's fault isolate it real quick. Troubleshoot it. We're on the side of the road. We got to get this thing working so we can get the hell out of here because we're 20 miles from the nearest O'Reilly's. You know, that's the kind of stuff that I like listening to. So basically, and Discovery doesn't own Motor Trend, I don't think. They've got a couple shows on that Motor Trend bought out from Discovery. That's what it was. So they've got a Discovery, or Motor Trend has a few shows that they bought from Discovery. But yeah, no, dude, the other thing too, when I'm sitting here doing homework, I have to listen to podcasts or I have to listen to documentaries on something. I can't just I'll catch a couple football update or sports updates just so we can talk about it. But I mean, for a sports podcast, we pretty much we're all around the circle, dude. I mean, we know a little bit, which is why before every single episode, we always tell you guys we're just armchair GMs. That's it, because we know a little bit about a lot of stuff and not a lot about a little shit. So we really don't know squat.
To sum it up. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's been another Yap Session with the Uncommon Man podcast. Again, I'm your host, David. This is Mike. Again, like, share, subscribe. Go check out some of our earlier videos that we've done today. We're trying something just a little bit different. We know as grown as adults in today's society, y'all can't pay attention to shit for a very long time. So we shortened down a lot of our sport content to make it, you know, we hit on a couple topics, we give our opinions, and then we cut it and we leave it there. So shout out to Mike. Mike posted a great video earlier on hockey and is getting a lot of views and a lot of traction. Good job, Mike. That was really great and quick thinking on your feet. So if y'all haven't seen it already, go watch it. I believe it's an Avalanche video that he made earlier about like a really quick trade that happened. He jumped on, banged it out, and it was a hit. It was successful. So again, go check out some of our earlier videos that we did today. Hope y'all like it. Hope y'all enjoy what we're trying to incorporate. And we'll see y'all in the next one.
Later.
Later.